Submitted for the approval of the Twilight Sobriety. I call this Tale of Marcelin's Playground needing a new synth player.
Look, there is no time for stories here. Don't you know that we need a new synth player because Ben Tramer hurt his pinky finger? I mean, just look at this letter. I mean, I can't read it, but Kmart told me that he hurt his pinky finger and we need a replacement.
Look, guys, it's only temporary, okay? But you're gonna need somebody to step in while you're doing the Battle of the Bands and all that jazz. Otherwise, you're not gonna beat Crash and the Bandicoots. You're gonna lose. Again.
You listen here. The Tramer Train did not fight off the boogeyman in the streets of Haddonfield for us to abandon his lady breaking sounds. I will die with that sound.
Okay, look. It's time to have an adult conversation. I know you loved him. And I do too. I mean, not really. But this is just temporary. Besides, Ben Tramer wrote you a letter saying he wanted it this way. He also said something in there about you suck. And, yeah, that's it.
Now, hang on, you can't be skating your boogie here. Just give me a second. Let me see that letter. That is his handwriting.
Congratulations, that was a test. You passed with flying colors. It was a test to see if you could distinguish between fact and fiction. And the fact of the matter is you don't need to hold tryouts for another band member. Your guy is standing right here.
Crazy. Driver Man can't be in the band with us. He drives us around. I mean, he can't not drive. It's in his name. Driver Man.
Yes, thank you, Simon. I appreciate that very much. Although I could...
Nah, driver man, say no more. I don't want to hear no more of that talk. You already do enough around here, and we don't want to put you in a pinch, boy.
Yes, driver man, you must drive the golf carriage for us.
I was talking about me, you blast furnace. Look, I'd have to check my schedule and everything, but Crushing Melons is going on hiatus. And if the stars align right, I just may be able to squeeze
that's
in.
okay. You suck. We'll pass.
It kind of sounds like you're trying to squeeze yourself in, boy.
Is that why they called you Shoehorn over at the Crushing Melons? No.
You don't even know me. Shut up. I just want to be in the band.
Look, dude, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to strike a nerve there, but you can't be in the band. It's not because you suck. It's because the band bylaws dictate we have to have tryouts.
Oh, yes, tryout. Yeah.
Tryouts.
Tryouts.
I love tryouts.
Boy, that's how the dice roll. Take it up to the Dungeon Master.
I didn't have to try out.
Shut up, Stops.
Yeah, tryouts. The bylaws dictate that they have to be, can you swim?
Not very good, no.
Yeah, on a boat. Sorry. It says it right here. Bylaws. On a boat. Boat's underlined.
Are you kidding me? What rotten luck. Why must you curse me with a bond made of dense muscle?
Oh, yeah, why do I gotta have that curse, too?
I'm telling you, I sink just like a rock.
Oh, yeah. There. I mean, I think we can all relate to that.
Uh-huh. Anyway, yeah, it's gotta be on a boat, man. Sorry. I don't know whose idea it was. All I remember is we were all up way too late drinking too many grape sodas. And maybe Benson D mentioned he wanted to rock out like Pink Floyd on the boat or something. I don't know. Yeah, it's gotta be on a boat.
But what if somebody misses the boat and they really want to try out? That don't seem fair.
Yes, in the interest of all that is fair and equal rights and all that stuff, I believe I speak for everyone when I say they get put on the chopping block.
That is a fantastic idea. We'll fly him in with a chopper. Hey, driver man, could you drive one of those bad boys?
Well, I don't know.
Of course he can. It's in his name. Driver man. He drive anything with wheels.
Oh, crap, I don't know if I can run fast enough.
All right, you gotta run like a mother.
Wait.
Guys, we should have just left 5 minutes earlier.
Somebody go tell Captain Crunch to stay in port. This boat can't leave because Simon's still out there.
Jump, Simon, you can make it.
Dude, it's like 27 feet. He ain't gonna make that jump. Shut up.
Yeah, but he doesn't know that, does he? You can do it, Simon. If he's in the ocean, he's not in the band. And if he's not in the band, that means I got another shot at getting
Are
him.
you sure about that? I mean, it kind of looks a little far.
Yeah, sure, I'm sure. Don't you trust me or something? What, you don't think you can make a 27-foot jump?
Yeah, I can make that jump. Easy. It's just I'm afraid that I'll overpower my jump and jump over the boat, land in the water. Don't want to be. It's the water, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I have that problem too.
Well, just say I can't really hear you. I'm a little bit woozy.
何してる？
Oh, hey, Herbamoto, how you doing, baby? It's kind of weird. Where'd you? It doesn't matter. I'm just trying to catch this boat. The way we can find a replacement for Ben Kramer.
大嫌い！
Oh, baby, don't be that way. Look, I am just as upset as you, but we were promised that it is only temporary.
やりたいかどうかわからない。
No, baby, I am not chicken, okay? I don't know how far of a jump it is, and, I haven't properly warmed up yet. I don't want to pull a hammy before the band auditions,
お願い、やめて。
No, baby, don't worry. I didn't pull a hammy. I'm saying I'm trying to take proactive measures to where I don't pull a hammy before band audition. Worst case scenario, I'll have driver man drop me off in the chopper.
これは夢？私は夢を見ているの？
Yes, Herbamoto, I could fly over there if I wanted everybody to feel bad about themselves. I mean, they already don't have my rockin' bod. I don't need to be giving them any more reasons to feel bad about themselves. Do you think I like making people feel bad about themselves? Am I just a make people feel bad about themselves person, Herbamoto? Is that what I am to you? I hope not. No, I think I'll just jump. Or I might just wait here for the boat to come back around. I'm sorry, baby. Don't cry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean any of that. I could fly if I wanted to. I mean, I just wanted to be able to. I figured I'd jump. Look, I'll just jump.
覚えているよ。ずっと前のとある夜に川沿いで。
What? LeBron? What you want me to flop around in the ocean or something?
もう遊ばないで。
Okay. Ocean, lake, same difference. Okay. Point is, I'm not LeBron. I'm Michael. George Michael. He's the one that did I believe I could fly, right?
Hey, you listen to me. Simon! Hey, Simon, you might want to get a move on with that jump, buddy. If you wait much longer, you're going to be missing the boat.
Oh, yeah. No, you go on ahead. I'm just going to stay here and chat with my main girl.
What?
Herbamoto! She's here.
Oh, yeah, hi, Yamamoto. How you doing? Oh, yeah. I saw him the other day. He was standing in the Walmart checkout line getting a bunch of Google gift cards. Said his grandpa needed him to buy a gun scope off some fella on Facebook Marketplace. Said he needed like $4,000 in Google Play cards. I don't know how much that is, but it seemed like a whole bunch of cards. Cashier looked at it worried, but he said, "No, it'll be fine. This is what my grandpa wants. This is what Papa did." Oh, yeah, I said the same thing, girl. And you know what else? They stopped carrying the chocolate cow towers at Walmart now. Yeah, they only got the original. Said they've been like that for years. I never noticed. And I've been having all kinds of trouble with that place. I can't find no Reese Cups. I can't find no Twizzlers. I can't even find a freaking payday.
That's a good one, baby. She says that the band can't find the payday either.
Oh, yeah, I heard her. I was over here laughing too. Who are you talking to? There's nobody there.
Oh, really? Phew. I thought I was going crazy. I thought I was the only one couldn't see her there for a minute.
Well, Simon, I'm glad you got on the boat okay. It's just too bad the driver man crashed the helicopter getting you here.
Let's not go bringing that up, okay? We can't blame him. Somebody, you, should have checked to see if there was wheels on this helicopter before he got into it.
Okay, look, let's not go point fingers right now, okay? What's important right now is that you bring me a ginger ale. Yeah, keep them coming. And let's get these tryouts on the road.
Okay, everybody, when you step up to tryout, you gotta tell us what bands you played with before. Or prior experience, if you will. And what song you gonna sing? Or you can just start singing. We need the first person up here right now.
Oh, hey, I'm in a band called PB and the Jams. We were originally a Pearl Jam cover band, but now we do Bee Gees songs. So anyway, here goes. Fatty be tender with my love. You know it really don't take much to hurt me. Fatty be tender
Man, I don't know if
with
it's the
my
ginger ale
love.
talking or what.
La la da da da.
This is
La
incredible.
la hurt me.
Thank you very much. We'll call you if we need you, okay?
Yeah, we probably won't. I don't think you made it, because you don't play the synthesizers. Sorry, we needed a synth player.
I already got your part two. This is just a formality. You just keep walking, okay?
Okay, so the next participant says he's from a band called Colonel Peppered and the Lonely Lost Salt Shakers of Salt.
You okay, Mort? We flawlessly combined the sounds of the Beatles, Los Lonely Boys, and Jimmy Buffett. And the Bee Gees.
Oh, okay, the Bee Gees again.
Yes, the Bee Gees again. You know who else said the Bee Gees again?
So could you please just keep us moving along? We got a lot of contestants to try out today. Thank you very much.
How deep is your love? How deep is your love? I really mean to learn. 'Cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down when they all should let us be. We belong to you and me. Ladies and gentlemen, 4G on the horn.
Oh, yeah, bravo. That was great. Go give me another ginger ale. Look, you got some stiff competition from Midstream. We'll call you friend if we need a hard player, though. Thanks for trying out. Want the process right. Where's my ginger ale?
Okay, next contestant for the showcase soda. Come spin the wheel.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to do Massachusetts by the Bee Gees.
Oh,
And
of
the one,
course you
and
are.
the two, and the...
Wait a second. We don't need anybody bragging in our face just because they can count.
I'm
Get out
sorry.
of my face.
Please, give me another shot. I believe I'm good enough for this band. I could sing another song. I'll sing I Started a Lie by the Bee Gees. Yeah, what was the lie that you could sing? Get out of here. This is my band.
Okay, our next participant is the Nacho Man, bringing nachos and the sadness. Nacho Man.
Yes, sirree, Bob. Read the name on the glasses. First name Nacho, last name Man. Oh, yeah. I was in a cover band called the Hee Hees. We did Michael Jackson covers. Here it comes. And the Bee Gees. Oh, yeah. Of course you did. Here we are, in a room full of strangers. Oh, yeah. Standing in the dark. Unjustifiably in a predicament that I don't want to be in. So I had to follow you, Miss Elizabeth. Though you didn't want me to, 'cause I saw the look of lust in that other guy's eyes. And I said, the madness can't keep me away. Oh no! Blame it at all on the Monday Nitro. Oh yeah, blew all their budget on the pyro. All those straight to the heart shows. Blame it at all. Oh yeah, on that flake to Jake Break Rabbits and that snake biting me in the freaking arm. Now in my place, there are so many others. Oh yeah. And I'm just gonna say, you feel all right now. But you wait, and later on, you're gonna regret what you did. 'Cause the cream is gonna rise to the top. Oh yeah. Relatively speaking, this band is nothing but garbage.
What just happened?
Well, this here nacho guy come in and did a really bad impersonation of that cool guy with the cowboy hat and the tassels come walking out to Pomp and Circumstance. Hey, you got any nachos? I'm really hungry.
I don't even know. Are we done? Next! What is that noise? What's this guy running down to the stage?
Sure is, he's fast. Ain't big. But he really can't set them ropes over there, can he?
Why is he even shaking? Who said we had budget for ropes?
Oh, God.
These nachos are delicious, by the way.
Oh yeah, thank you so much, brother. Just bring in the sadness.
This is the, penultimate weekend warrior. Yeah.
You even go over the stage. You look awful gassed out. Maybe you should have rode to the stage. I can show you this trick called the turkey roll. It saves you all kind of gas.
How should I prepare for this singing tryout? Should I jump off a building? Should I go on the lawn and let them run me over with lawnmowers? Should I go to Africa and let them hit me with elephants? All I can say is when you combine the fire and ice that is Motorhead and the Bee Gees, you get a reaction that can only be described as translated upon time itself.
Okay, next, get off the stage. Get off my stage. Cut the music. Just get out of here. You ain't singing a song. I have way too many ginger ales for this thing. Put up with this garbage. Look at this. You see this face right here? Don't tell me about transcendent time. This face has seen the 90s. I have time traveled. Okay? I was in there. I was downtown there. Don't tell me about time travel. We need a set player. You ain't even singing. You just up there cutting the promo. We need a set player. What crap you cut the promo? What could the promo gonna do us?
I can do it in reverse if you need me to.
I think we've had enough of all this. Maybe Mr. Motorhead Bee Gees should just go on. Simon, sit down. Come on. No, don't bring him any more ginger ales. You don't need it anymore. And there he goes.
This don't make any sense either.
He seriously is doing everything in reverse.
Hey, how about you just reverse yourself on out of here and just leave?
Goodbye, Mr. Penultimate Weekend Warrior. We keep in touch, boy. We got your number. We call up them digits if we need you for the next placebo workout instructional tape for home learning. Blood flow restriction edition.
Look, I can't do this anymore. Look, I really think we just need to hire Moto. She was talking to me there at the dock. I think she'd be the best fit for the band.
You can't be serious. I've got band credentials. I was with the Crushing Melons. I can sing. Papa was a Rolling Stone. You hear that crap? Midnight Train to Memphis. I can sing.
Yeah, but Moto, she's good. She can scream really loud. Like Yono Oko.
Crap. Wait. I just found this letter from Kramer saying that his pinky's healed. He's all better. He's good to go. Or he'll just play with one finger down. It's okay.
So, that's a relief. Let me tell you, I'm gonna hang around this joint. Hey, bring me another ginger ale for the road. Come on, guys, let's get out of the crap here.
Okay, look, we've been through this several times. You do know you're just drinking ginger ale, right?
Don't talk down to me. You see this face? I am El Presidente. I call the shots here. Now, go get me a ride home.
I didn't want to say anything, but
What you
driver
care?
man can't take you home. He kind of took a bump from that helicopter crash. He's going to be okay. He's just a little shaken up. So you're going to have to find your own ride home.
Oh no, Simon. What will we ever do?
Oh, don't worry me, man. That's okay. It's Uncle Rico for several years. He needed state championship. Placebo designated driver.
I'll take it from here. It's okay. Placebo designated
I
driver.
smell Tex-Mex. No,
No,
never
no.
mind.
No. Placebo designated driver. Does the driver really exist? Who cares?
And we are live. Cock-a-doodle-doo! Maybe not so live, but that's okay. Welcome to It's Just a Regular Show about the regular show, regular time. I'm your host, that guy with the name that's really hard to say that nobody wants to say, and that's okay. We, here at this show, break down all of the regular show episodes one by one, even the ones we don't want to watch. And we bring you all that regular news and regular in-depth coverage of a show that's anything but regular. I hope y'all have been doing well since we talked. Last time we covered the episode Temp Check. We are covering, I think, Season 2, Episode 16, maybe? Jinx this week. Hopefully it's a little bit better than I remember. I did not pre-watch this, so we're going into this somewhat fresh. Not quite as fresh as, when the Krispy Kreme light's on. I wouldn't know much about that, but I hear those are fresh. I don't know. Anyway, since we last talked, I've been snowed into my house for about putting near 2 weeks. Close to it. No. 9 days, something like that, maybe 10. Anyway, we've been out of school for a while. So, yeah, big, didn't seem like a huge snowstorm hit the southeast, but, boy, that snow just lingered around and it just didn't want to go anywhere. So, with all that time, I had quite a bit of a chance to watch a lot of different shows, which I didn't end up doing. I was, normally on my days off, I kind of like to watch a couple videos on maybe music production or something like that. But my YouTube feed was feeling rather, I don't know, devilish or mischievous, or maybe it just wanted to upset me. I don't know. But about once a year, twice a year, maybe I should give you a little backstory before I get into this. I used to watch a channel called G4 TV. And going through high school, that show was, looking back, like my best friend. I mean, it really was. Like, it seemed like it was always there for me when other people weren't. The hosts, especially on Attack of the Show, Kevin Pereira and Olivia Munn, it felt like I knew them watching that show. The other hosts were great that they had through the years. Chris Hardwick, Chris Gore, Allison Hayslip, Layla Cayley. There's a whole bunch of them. Sarah Underwood. Candace Bailey came along and co-hosted after Olivia left, after they had like a trial period for other hosts. She actually went on to host a Cartoon Network show. I'm not sure which one that was, though. She was a good host. But that show, mainly Attack of the Show, it really meant a lot to me coming up. It was such a huge inspiration on just how people can be creative and do things. And not be afraid to put out things that they're interested in and just create. And my YouTube feed put up a documentary that one of the people a guy that worked at Film Threat, he did DVD Tuesday or DB Tuesday for Attack of the Show, Chris Gore. He's recently put out a documentary called Attack of the Doc. And it's a documentary about G4, but it mainly focuses on Attack of the Show. And it's a great documentary. If you haven't seen it, I recommend you go watch it. It's free on YouTube, but he also has a Blu-ray with a bunch of, we're getting in the late regular show seasons now. Blu-ray, not even HD DVD, just Blu-ray. All right. But he gets it. There's a lot of extra interviews on that. But I started watching that, and I was really hesitant because I knew how it was going to end, and I kept watching though, and I got to realizing the last time they tried to reboot G4 a couple years back, and it got a lot of crap because some of the talent, they said some things that were not very popular with the fan base, and the baby, in a lot of people's eyes, the baby they just threw the baby out with the bathwater. Really, that iteration of G4 sunk in like under a year. And really what that was leadership. It was the Comcast just setting them up to fail to begin with. That's just flat out what it was. But, some of the talent's comments didn't make things better. And actually, I'm not going to give this person's name, but I went back and watched an interview with her, and I think she got I kind of felt sorry for her because I think she got a lot of unnecessary flack for some of the things she says, because she was fairly justified in saying some of the things that she said. She went on a rant talking about objectifying women in video games and on the show again. Basically, I'm not eye candy, so on and so forth. And she kind of berated the whole audience. I don't know if she intended to do that, but it was the way she described it. It was kind of justified that she said something, because there were people on the Discord or one of the interactive social media platforms to the show saying things, and but she went about doing it the wrong way, and you can kind of tell that none of the cast expected it. And like the look on Gerard, the completionist's face behind her when she says this, is priceless. And I don't want to get in the whole debacle of what's just happened to him recently, or what he's allegedly done or not done, or the negligence on his part, whatever. But at that time, just the look on his face was hilarious, because you could see in his eyes, he's like, she's about to sink this ship. But going back and watching an interview with her, I thought, man, she kind of got the rough end of the deal there. She had bad leadership, it just feels like. Anyway, I was, when Kevin Pereira left Attack of the Show, it was like a week before the network went under. I thought, well, that's it. Close up shop. It's done again. Because that's how it was on the first Attack of the Show. But it hurt. I mean, it really hurt. Like, not physically, but like it felt like I was losing a friend again. I mean, this Attack of the Show probably is my favorite show of all time. It's more so than the regular show, than Aqua Teen, than King of the Hill, than any of these shows. And I try to put it out of my head as much as I can, because it was just there for seems like such a long time, even though it only aired for about 7 years or something. But like over 1,000 episodes. And I mean, it was every evening I was watching this show. And that second time that G4 went under, it was like just the nail in the coffin to me, like emotionally. I thought, I can't believe this just, it hurts. But this documentary, I'm going through it, watching it, and I'm thinking, there's a lot of people that owe a lot to this show that probably have never even heard of G4 or Attack of the Show. Attack of the Show was, as far as I know, it was the first show to have social media interaction on the show. It was a show originally for gamers, but the goal of it was to incorporate more pop culture and media into it. They did tech reviews. They were kind of the first ones to do this. They had a segment called Around the Net, where they had the top 5 internet videos of the week, and it was groundbreaking at the time. It was hilarious. Now you look back at them, and it's just like, that's just me scrolling through TikTok for 5 minutes, or whatever. I don't have TikTok, but I would imagine, that's what goes on. And the greatest thing about this show, just watching it through it all, I mean, it was the first one to cover San Diego Comic-Con. It kind of made it a lot more mainstream. First ones to cover E3. It pushed things to the edge that you could do on TV. But the thing that made this show, I could care less about the content they covered. It was the interaction of the hosts. Olivia Munn and Kevin Pereira are the best duo of hosts I've ever seen. And Kevin Pereira probably by himself may be the best host of any show I've ever seen. And, that might be people might think that's hyperbole, because you're like, who the crap's Kevin Pereira? I think the guy he's just been doing it since he was like 15. And he gotten so good at improvising that it's just like nobody could touch him. And Olivia Munn was just like almost the female counterpart of that. She was just phenomenal. And I mean, I've been watching episodes of that show like crazy, but inevitably, the next thing that pops up on the feed is Kevin Pereira leaves Attack of the Show, and it's back in 2012. And I watch it, and I think, oh, gosh, I can't do this anymore. Well, first, I'm sorry, Olivia Munn leaves Attack of the Show was the first one that comes up. Then Kevin Pereira, and then that last one, the very last Attack of the Show for the first run. And I watched that, and every time an intern leaves or something, they play that dadgum Annika Paris song, We Never Got to Dance, and you probably don't even know what that is. We're talking about regular show. We're talking about the episode Jinx, which aired April 18th, 2011, which was right around the golden era of Attack of the Show, quite honestly. Well, maybe a little bit after the golden era. This was right around the time Olivia Munn was leaving. I will stop trying to make the contextual references to Attack of the Show if for nobody's sake but mine. I know you probably don't want to hear about it anyway. So, I'm not going to go through the whole what aired on Cartoon Network, blah, 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 except for Adventure Time, like I told you I would do. And the episode that aired alongside this episode is called it's Video Maker. And I remember this episode pretty well. I remember it mainly because I thought it was a pretty doggone good episode. You know, it has no major impact on the story from what I remember. It's kind of a filler episode, but it's a good one. It's like a really good one. As Adventure Time has a lot of those. And it contributes to the world building and everything. Every episode seems to have at least a little bit of significance in that series. There's no real complete throwaway episodes, but the thing that stuck out to me, though, is Ice King is not in this episode. Now, there are a lot of episodes where Ice King has like these home videos he's made, which are very, very funny. But this one I'm thinking is more of like one of those BMO stories. And BMO early on was kind of humorous and stuff, but to me, the characters of BMO and Ice King don't really pick up until like season 5 or 6. Later on, at the point where I'm at in the show now, BMO has been like on fire, the character. I mean, there's like 3 or 4, when I sat down and watched a few of these, there was like 3 or 4 of the BMO episodes that were just fantastic. Such a great character and underrated. I can't believe I'd forgotten about BMO, but this one basically, I think Finn and Jake find like some old movies. And I remember Finn says something about copyright. And they're like, it's expired by now, so we can show it. Finn doesn't want to show it, so they all decide they're going to make like their own movies. And pretty much like every main and almost every, like, I guess main side character, you know, the characters like Tree Trunks and Lady Rainicorn and, there's quite a bit of the candy people, like the Cupcake Dude, Peppermint Butler, Slime Princess, Lumpy Space Princess, you know, like all those like C tier characters. A lot of them are in it too. And you got a lot of the B tier characters like Marceline, Princess Bubblegum, Lumpy Space Princess, and then Finn, Jake, and BMO are in it, of course. And they just make some, you know, they make like these movies themselves, and hilarity kind of ensues. And it's pretty good fun. And quite honestly, just if I was going to compare these 2 episodes, this to Jinx on the regular show, before I even watched Jinx, I would say that this week Adventure Time wins. Simply because I do have pretty fond memories of this Adventure Time episode. Objectively speaking, it may not be better. We're going to find out here. But I do remember this one being pretty good. It sticks out. So I'm going to have to give the edge to it this week. But let's talk about Jinx, though. So Jinx aired April 18th, 2011 in the U.S., September 28th, 2011 in the U.K. It's directed by Mike Roth, written and storyboarded by Sean Seals and Henry Yu. So Sean Seals, once again, kind of one of those jacks of all trades. Yeah, I guess that's how you say it. No need for me to stutter, but I did. The synopsis: Rigby falls victim to a game of jinxing and unleashes a demonic form of himself onto the park, I guess, after trying to break the jinx himself. So we're going to see. He kind of tries to cheat himself out of the jinx, and, you know, some stuff hits the fan and things get surreal. Voice is Mordecai, and High Five Ghost, J.G. Quintel. So J.G. Quintel embracing High Five Ghost character even more and more as we go along. Rigby is William Salyers. Pops Benson and Muscle Man, the great Sam Marin, who I found out after adding him on Instagram is also, I mean, of course, I mean, all these guys probably are, but Sam Marin's also, I think he's a good artist, if I'm not mistaken. He's an artist, and he advertises some of his art and whatnot, and which makes sense. You know, he works on the regular show, and maybe he's like I don't know. Skips. Mark Hamill's just doing Skips this week, which is, okay. And Negative Rigby and Businessman is voiced by pretty much like the 6th man, or I don't even know how many they're using here, but fifth or sixth man. Roger Craig Smith. They're kind of their go-to guy. Seems like at this point. So let's I'm trying to look through here on these production notes. Yeah, 2.094 million views. There are a lot of goofs in this episode just right off the bat. And there are some pop culture references. We will look afterwards, see if I can catch these. I may not, but that's okay. So let's go ahead and start this episode. Okay, so the episode starts off, of course, in the park. Birds are chirping like always. And there is a bunch of crap on the ground. By crap, I mean litter, junk. I mean, all over the park. Mordecai and Rigby are picking it up with one of those little poles with one of them little sticks with the nails in them, and they're picking it up, putting them like these little side satchels that they have. And, of course, they're complaining, man, we're never going to get this done, blah, blah, blah. And Rigby's kind of like, oh, it's not so bad. I found these. And he pulls out a pair of like these baby shoes, back in the day. Maybe they still do it. I doubt it. But back in the day, parents would take their baby's shoes and they would dip them in bronze after the baby outgrew them, and, to kind of make like a statue or a cast or whatever you call it. And Mordecai's like, what are you going to do with a pair of bronze baby shoes? And Rigby says, I don't know. I'll find something. And I know I've seen this episode, but I can't remember exactly how it goes. I'm guessing those are going to come into play later. I don't know. But Mordecai's like, man, I haven't even been looking. So he takes his entire satchel of junk and just pours it back out onto the ground. And he goes, oh, dude, Army Man. And he picks up a little green Army Man. And then Rigby delivers a great line. He says, see, it is true what they say. One man's trash is another man's pleasure. And Mordecai's like, treasure, dude, treasure. So they argue about that a bit. And Mordecai's like, that's just weird. And Rigby says, well, it's a pleasure to find treasure. So there. And then they both see a quarter. And they go, quarter. They drop their sticks and they reach down to get it. And Mordecai says, Jinx. And probably everybody, Mordecai kind of lays the rules out, through Dialogue City and all that. But I've seen this game played different ways in the South, at least for the previous generation to me, maybe 2 generations back. It's Jinx, you owe me a Coke. When I was kids, we hit each other like they do here. So Rigby, he says something and Mordecai punches him and Rigby's like, ow. And then he punches him again and the quarter goes, and he goes, fine, you can have the quarter. And he punches him again. Mordecai says, you know how this, he ends up punching him a lot. He says, you know how this works. You talk and you make a noise, I'm going to punch you. Talk, I'm going to punch you. Something like that. So, kind of a slapstick thing. So obviously you can probably guess it's going to be a little bit formulaic, at least at the beginning. They're going to be doing crap. Rigby's going to make noise and he's going to get punched. But let's see how creative they can get with executing this. So most of this is pretty routine. They're playing video games. Rigby says, oh, in your face, which is actually not routine because he always sucks at them. But I guess somehow he ended up beating Mordecai or getting a one-up on him or something. Mordecai punches him, and I think it knocks him to the other side of the couch or something. And then the next one is it ramps up the creativity. They're walking outside with these shades on, and an eclipse happens, and they both stare at it, and Rigby's like, whoa, and then Mordecai punches him to the ground, and he's laying there, and he looks up again, he goes, it's so beautiful, and then Mordecai punches him in the spine. And then the next scene, or the next little thing the bit they do, is actually, it's a clip that I see passed around the internet quite a bit, or a meme sometimes. Mordecai's like, dude, you got a delivery, and he's in their room, and he's got like a box, and the top of it is open. And Rigby's like, what is it? And he takes the front of the box and he punches through the box into Rigby's face, knocks him over. And I thought, yeah, that's a lot of regular show fans are pretty familiar with that. And then they're down at the breakfast table eating and Rigby's like, can you pass them? And then he gets punched and they go on through that bit, several times. And I think there's a few clips in there of just like real quick cuts or Rigby going like, come on. And he gets punched and hey, pow. And, so he ends up getting punched on a lot, but Mordecai eventually reveals to him, dude, you can just break the jinx by having somebody say your name 3 times. So Rigby obviously gets like, the idea. That's going to be like the plot now. I got to get one of the park members to say my name 3 times. First person he comes up on is Benson, and Benson's looking at all the trash, and he's like, what the crap are they doing? And Rigby runs up, and he's like, hey, Rigby. Or he says, is that Rigby? And then Rigby looks, and he sees, and he smiles, and he runs over there, and he's like, hey, Benson, he goes, no, Rigby. I need you to listen, blah, blah, blah. And he starts like, chewing them out basically because they didn't clean up the trash and keeps going on and on. And he's just like, no, Rigby, you shut up and listen. And he's like, I just need you to say, or he doesn't say his name at that point, sorry, but he goes, I just need you to say my name 3 times. And then Mordecai's standing behind the tree, behind Vincent's back with a fist raised, with real mean eyes. And Vincent's like, say your name. Why would I do that? Blah, blah, blah. And he goes, and he hears Mordecai run away. He goes, is that Mordecai? And he turns around, he says, hey, Mordecai, get over here right now or you're fired. And then Rigby hits him with a can in the side of the head from, the trash. And he's like, Rigby, what's your problem? And then he throws it again. He goes, Rigby. And then Rigby heaps all the trash in his face. And then that pushes Benson over the edge and he just gets real mad. And red face starts hitting the ground and throwing a tantrum. And, basically the whole Mel Gibson on The Patriot where he hacks the guy with the hatchet. He doesn't do it to Rigby, but he goes crazy, runs over to the golf cart, takes a trash can, does a big spinny throw. I guess that's a word. Spinning throw. He tosses the can up in the air, it lands, and then he kicks it and drives off. So that's the Benson interaction. The next person we see when the scene cuts is Pops sitting at a fountain. He's all giggling and laughing, looking in the. I think it's at his reflection in the fountain. Let me watch this and see. So this is actually, after watching this is one of the best Pops interactions we've seen up to this point. He's staring in the fountain and he's just, looking down there and it's at his face. The reflection, there's waves going through it, which is, quite frankly, I believe this is one of those kind of drug references or something. I don't know. Not saying Pops is, on any drugs or drug paraphernalia, but you know how it was. What's it? 3 p.m. in the original one that J.G. Quintel did at the gas station where they went on like an acid trip. This kind of seems like one of that type of humor. I mean, it's just funny, just the noise he makes when he's looking at his reflection. Rigby comes running up though, and Rigby's like, making some motion. He goes, "Oh, you want to play a parlor game?" And he goes, "Fine, maybe after this we can play bits and bobbles." And he goes, "Go on." So Rigby starts, they want to play charades, I guess he figures out. And Rigby starts, and he pushes on Pops and then pushes back on it and he goes, "Friends to the end." And Rigby's like shaking his head. And then he holds up the number 3 and starts patting himself on the chest. And Pops goes, "Oh, dirty raccoon." And Rigby's like, "Ah," and he shakes his head and he holds up his 3 again. And he's like, 3 dirty raccoons. So, and he does the same thing and holds up the 3 again. He goes, "Raccoons' brains are 3 times smaller than normal." And Rigby again, no. And he holds up the 3 again. He goes, 3 out of 3 raccoons can't read. And then Mordecai walks up and he's like, "Oh, Mordecai, Rigby and I are just playing a parlor game." Actually, I screwed that up. Mordecai walks up and says, "Oh, Mordecai, do you want to play charades with us?" And Mordecai says, "Not if this guy's giving the clues. He blows at it." And Rigby goes, "Shut up, I'm good." And then Mordecai hits him and knocks him to the ground. He goes, "Oh," and Rigby goes, or Pops goes, "Oh, he's jinxed." So he gets it right when Mordecai does it, So Rigby really is, bad at it. Mordecai's better. And Pops is like, "I love a good jinxing." So then Rigby runs off and he goes to Skips, who is like meditating in his room. So Rigby runs up, he gets a clipboard and he gives it to Skips and it says, "I'm jinxed, say my name 3 times. Mordecai follows in, soon after, but Skips is like, for some people, writing is talking, so you're kind of breaking the rules. And then he hits Rigby. And he goes, and then Mordecai comes up and socks him the other arm, and Rigby kind of gets that, how when Vegeta in Dragon Ball Z gets hurt, like his arm's always like dangling from his side. It's always the left one and he's holding it. Well, this one's Rigby's right arm, but like he hits him and it crumples up his arm and he goes, "That's what you get for cheating." And and Skips is like, "Sounds count too, right?" And Mordecai says, "Sounds totally count." And then Rigby's like, "Sounds count too?" So they both hit him and they just hit him 4 times total after that. And, just beat the crap out of him. And he takes off running, like whining. Mordecai's like, "You want to follow him?" And Skips is like, "Yeah, why not? I don't have it. I'm not doing anything." And I think this is just an excuse for them to put the Skips animation, how he skips along in the show. So they go off following him. Maybe this plays more significance, though. Next person Rigby runs into, though, is High Five's ghost on a trail that he's running on. So he sees him and he's like, "Fives, you got to help me. I've been jinxed, blah, 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 blah. Mordecai's taking it way too seriously." And Fives just keeps shaking his head. And he's like, why not? And he goes, because I'm Jinx too. And then you hear Muscle Man, blah, 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 and he jumps out of the bush and punches Fives. So, Muscle Man's kind of bullying Fives, at this point. And so Rigby breaks his Jinx. He goes, high fives goes, blah, blah, blah. And Fives gets up and he's like, ah! And he doesn't help him, though. He just flies off. And Muscle Man's like, why don't you just break the Jinx yourself? And he's like, you can do that? And he goes, yeah, you could totally do that. It's easy. Here's how you do it. And he starts whispering in his ear. And then Rigby takes off running. And then you see Muscle Man kind of laugh because, he's all about the pranks. But you're going to see that he's like giving him some really bad advice here in a second. So Mordecai and Skips come up and they're like, have you seen Rigby? And he's like, yeah, I just told him how to unjinx himself. And they're like, and Skips is like, you didn't tell him about the mirror thing, did you? And he goes, yeah, I did. He's just going to be talking to himself in the dark. It'll be hilarious. Now, here's the thing about this joke. Some people may not find it funny, but like the way I'm seeing this, because if you just look at it at face value, it's like, whatever. But the way I'm seeing this is Muscle Man doesn't know that he's given Rigby. He thinks that he's just like, pranking him and wasting his time. But like he doesn't know that Rigby's about to summon a demon or whatever. But the thing about it is, at least this is how I'm seeing it right now. The thing about it is like he thinks that constitutes a good prank. Rigby's sitting in a room talking to himself in the dark. And this is kind of unlike him because a lot of times when we see these pranks, they're like really elaborate episode-long pranks that just like completely catch the guys off guard and they're like really, really good and pretty funny. This one's just completely stupid. And I think that just kind of goes to show Muscle Man's sense of humor. Like he's kind of, obviously he's immature. He can be kind of mature, I guess, but like, this is like his just unrefined sense of humor. It's just like so stupid, there's no other way to put it. He thinks that somebody sitting in a room talking to themselves is like really getting them good, So anyway, we see Rigby run to the public restroom and he runs in there and he locks the main door behind him. Now this is kind of, the first thing I see when I look at this is very, I don't know if this is intentional, obviously. Anytime I say this is very, unless I say this is obviously or something, this is just my speculation or what it reminds me of. But this is kind of like, in my eyes, that opening scene from Silent Hill 2 where James Sunderland, is it James that's in Silent Hill 2? I think it's James, where he's in that public restroom and he's just looking at himself in the mirror. But then Rigby goes and turns on the faucets and it fogs up and everything, and he starts writing his name on it. And it also kind of seems like the Bloody Mary urban legend or whatever that was floating around back in the day. And there go the dogs. I'll be right back, folks. So as I was saying, I think, maybe there's a Bloody Mary reference in here somewhere. If you're not familiar with that urban myth, you go in a room and I guess a bathroom, you shut off the lights and Bloody Mary 3 times or something. I don't know. I really don't know a whole lot about that. But yeah, it wouldn't be to my surprise if one of those two things were involved with this scene. But anyway, Mordecai and Skips are like banging on the door, begging Rigby not to do it. They're like, we'll break the Jinx, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, then do it from there. And Skips is like, you can't do it. It's got to be face to face. Come out here. Rigby starts writing his name on the mirror. And his name starts getting like reciprocally written backwards from like something on the other side of the mirror. But it's like, yeah, he's seeing it backwards, like a flipped and inverted image of his name. So he says his name 3 times. And as he does, each time lightning strikes and you see like a silhouette of like his demon image, which is it's just him but bigger and it's black and it's got shaggier hair and it's more muscular and it's actually a really cool design. Thinking more, but it looks kind of like a werewolf would look or something. And I gotta give props to this episode. Honestly, this has turned out to be better than I remember it. It's going to end up getting overshadowed by a lot of other episodes, but this actually, I really got to give him credit for setting a good atmosphere. Just looking at this still shot right now, the sky's purple And it really seems like getting close to a Halloween episode or something. I mean, something of that nature, because it's got that real monster movie type feel. And I actually really like this. So the next scene, I mean, it's shot really well. The thing jumps out of the mirror and it's kind of like slow-mo, and it scratches Rigby in the back of the head, or it knocks him in the back of the head. Maybe it just misses, I don't know, but it jumps over him. Rigby runs into a bathroom stall, and there's a guy sitting there, and he's like, "Do you mind? I'm trying to read." So Rigby goes out. The monster comes over and swipes and knocks like all the stalls over, like he tears them off the wall with his claws. And and then the guy just kind of looks up. And I think that's a reference to Jurassic Park, that first one where the guy's on he's in he's in that restroom, and the Tyrannosaurus Rex like eats him. I think that's what this is a reference to, except in this one, the Jinx Rigby, the demonic Rigby or whatever, knocks him through the ceiling of the bathroom. So at this point, Rigby is out there he's reconvened with Mordecai and Skips, and they're all just kind of looking in horror at this creature that's been unleashed. So they're looking at the guy that just got flung out of the bathroom. He's got 3 scratch marks across his back, and Skips goes, "That guy's dead." And then the guy gets up, starts to move, and he like grows all this black and white hair, like this negative Rigby. That's what he's called. Yeah. So this guy becomes a negative version of himself, kind of like, werewolf bite turns into a werewolf, whatever. And you can kind of see where this is going. Most of the park's probably going to get like changed by the end of this. So some of the victims of this scratching, I guess, there's a guy power walking, listening to like 80s or 90s, I guess like synth music. There's no words or anything, and he gets scratched and he just gets up and he keeps power walking. There's this couple hugging each other in the park and they get scratched and nothing real special happens there. Muscle Man's chasing High Five, goes to the trees and he's like, "Come back here. I'm not done with you yet," which makes no sense because Five's got unjinxed, but maybe he got jinxed again. I don't know. But the monster gets him, and then he gets Benson. They try to they're like, "Benson, come with us," because Benson's still picking up the trash. He's mad. He's like, "There you are." And I'm like, "Come with us." He's like, "I'm not going anywhere with you until you." And then the monster gets him, and Skips is like, "Step on it." And they drive off, and Skips is about to tell him how to beat it. He's like, "The only way to beat this thing is we got it." And then the monster pulls him back off the golf cart and, gets him, which, they should have been able to outrun this thing, because I saw in like a meme or a clip of this show where like the golf cart, some of these golf carts register up to 200 miles an hour, which is a great detail in the show. I mean, I love that, which it explains a lot, like on the episode Muscle Man, where they're keeping up with the cop car. Muscle Man, you know how to break the laws in all the right ways. But anyway, they're driving through this like mob of negative people, and they've got Pops hoisted up over their head like an angry mob, and he's like, "Put me down, I demand to know where we're going." And they get the idea, well, maybe if I jinx you, it'll work. So he's like, "Rigby, Rigby, Rigby," and he's like, "Did it work?" And they do like this fake out where Rigby turns around and doesn't see anything. He goes, "I think it worked." And then the monster, jumps down in front of them. So they've got to come up with another plan. Okay, so here's where the episode, this is kind of a little flaw in my opinion. They're trying to reason through what Rigby did, and he's like, "I went in the bathroom, blah, 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 said my name in the mirror, blah, blah, blah," and he says all this stuff. And none of it really matters, because Mordecai comes to the conclusion, like, we got to get back to that mirror, which, honestly, looking to the dialogue that Rigby gives, it's like, it's not very strong dialogue to suggest that they need to go back and do that. I mean, but anyway, they do like a U-turn, they drive back to the restroom, and they run in there and lock the door, and Rigby's like, "Dude, I don't think it's going to help," and then they look over, and there's a giant hole in the wall. The negative Rigby jumps down and calls all the other negative people over, and they close in on Mordecai and Rigby, and the negative Rigby jumps to the roof, and they run over to the mirror, and they're like, "Rigby, Rigby, Rigby," and it's not working, and he takes off running at them, the negative Rigby does, and their breath hits the mirror, and the condensation from it fogs it up, and they see that the name's backwards, and Mordecai says, "Oh, his name's backwards," so they say, like, Ibgir, Ibgir, Ibgir. And like, as the thing's jumping, it goes into slow motion, and there's a really good clip of music that they put in there. It's just, just a really catchy synth top song, or not catchy. It's just really good. So yeah, he jumps and he ends up going through the mirror back to where he came, which kind of makes me wonder. It's like, if they hadn't said his name, was he just going to jump in the mirror? Logic does not prevail here. This is the regular show. But who cares? It looks cool. And that's the end of the conflict, basically. Everybody turns back and they're all walking around and, somehow they've lost half their clothes. We have a hippie-looking dude, or a guy with long hair, I should say, more like a 90s surf rocker or something, with one of those excellent prototype caps. Doesn't have the excellent writing on it, but I'm excellent. But he's wearing one of those. We have one of those about every other episode now, if not every episode. And then there's another one with the red and white, looks like that. And there's just different people walking around and crap. And Pops has lost his hat. He's like, has anybody seen my hat? And nobody remembers what's going on. So Skips walks up and he's like, looks like you're off the hook. Nobody remembers. And they go, well, how do you remember? And he goes, my mind's a steel trap. And don't do that again. And then he walks off. Benson comes up and he's like, Mordecai, Rigby. And he starts chewing them out. They're like, look, we're sorry, Benson. We'll clean this up right now. And he's like, mid-sentence, he stops. He's pointing at him and he goes, well, okay. And then he walks off, which I really liked. It's like he probably should have fired him for, even if he doesn't remember anything that happened this episode, it's like the park's torn up. There's a hole in the wall. It's probably their fault. He probably should have just fired him. But it's just great because it's like, well, okay. And then the last thing, they both say the same thing at the same time. Rigby jinxes Mordecai. And he's like, haha. And he goes, and Mordecai's just like, whatever. And Rigby starts like wailing on his arm. He's like, da, 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 da. How do you like that? How does it feel? And he just keeps hitting him over. And Mordecai's like not reacting because it's, Rigby's so weak, it's not hurting us all, which is great because that is an ongoing joke that they keep going in the show. I really like how they keep that up. That's another one of those character development things. And Mordecai says, I really feel bad you'll never be able to fully enjoy this game. And Rigby just like gets mad and then he gouges him in the eyes. And that's like the end of the episode. So, yeah. This episode had a lot more going for it than I thought it would, just from what I remembered about it. Its strong points, it does set a nice atmosphere with the sky and everything. It's very ambient, I guess. There are some really good interactions. That, like I said, that Pops interaction is probably, it's one of the best ones. It may not be the best one. I mean, because Brain Eraser, I'm kind of forgetting about that one. And then the Joe Mama, maybe but this is definitely a worthy Pops interaction. He's not just like let's be honest. In a lot of the episodes, it's like he doesn't drive the episode. He's like a really, really nice add-on character, but I wouldn't say he's the throwaway character, but he's one that's not necessary for the show. Even though it's kind of because of the character of Pops that regular show came around. He's one of those progenitor type characters, I guess. So with the King of Lollyland. So yeah, Pops is one of my favorite characters. So I love seeing them use him well. Benson's also another one of my favorite characters. I will say his moments in this episode are all right. I mean, they're, that end part is kind of got some charm to it, but the tantrum he throws in this episode, it's mediocre, and he doesn't have the serious like older brother or dad type vibes where like I'm going to take care of my employees. Or, he doesn't have the old guy jokes or nothing like that. So he's not a throwaway character, but like on a scale of 10, they're utilizing him to maybe a 4. Skips, I do like how they kind of broke the trend of he just gives them the solution. However, this episode probably needed that because the way that Mordecai and Rigby come up with how to solve the problem, they needed kind of that MacGuffin or whatever you want to call it. It wouldn't be a MacGuffin. I don't know what it would be called. They needed that that plot device from Skips to kind of fill in the hole there because they're just like, oh, we just come to this conclusion, which, if they do that and then they poke fun of it being that way, like which is something that Aqua Teen would do, I think that's actually got a lot of humor in it. But this, it's just like it just quickly happens. It seems like they needed to cut down on time, or they couldn't spend a lot of time on this. You know, they had limited 12 minutes an episode. So that's just a weak point, I guess. But the episode looked cool. There were just and I'm not even saying it falls short. It doesn't. It's not breaking the chain of very decent to pretty doggone good episodes that we've had going on here. So, we're still kind of on that wave. We've got a few coming up that may break that chain. I'm not sure. I think the next episode might be See You There, which is one where Muscle Man throws like a birthday party or something. I remember it. I just don't remember what the party is over. It might be a birthday party for High Five's ghost. I don't know. But which is, from what I recall, is a pretty good episode. Just the whole, I guess, idea of it or whatever, premise of it, I guess. And then after that, we have Do Me a Solid, which that one, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that one, but I'm sure, just like I had mixed feelings about this one, I'm going to find something good in it, because when you really analyze these, it's like there are a lot of things to appreciate in these shows. And I remember liking that one quite a bit. I've seen it a few times. I know I have. If nothing but for the weird thing that Mordecai does at the end, which I'm still really confused as to what he does. But we'll get into that. This episode, out of 10, I'm going to give it a 5. It's right in the middle of the road, and I don't want you to think it's bad. Watch it. It's cool. It's a good episode. I mean, it's the regular show. There are very few episodes that I would just say don't watch. Meet Your Maker would probably be one of them. This is not that. It's just par. It's average. It's good gems and good jokes in there. You just got to dig through, or you don't really got to dig. You just got to sit there and wait for them, I would say an episode like some of the ones we've been watching in the past warrant a good 3 to 3.5 points better, at least some of them, 3 to 3.5 points better than what this one is. But this one is definitely not a flop, or, a goose egg or whatever, in my opinion. It's very far from being the worst episode. It's just, that's why I don't remember it so much. I remember the really bad ones. I remember the really good ones. Remember the ones that I really like. But the ones that are just kind of in the middle, it's like they kind of blend together. It's like, villain wasn't so memorable, even though it looked awesome. The villain wasn't so memorable. Wasn't the greatest, one-liners or just any lines really at all. I mean, even though there were some good ones. It's just like nothing really like clicked. It's like they just didn't get a whole lot of traction to begin with those episodes. The parts are there. It's just like they just didn't put them together the right way, if that makes any sense. So yes, I can reaffirm, I think, even though I haven't watched Video Makers in a while, which is season 2, episode 23 of Adventure Time, I will say that I think Video Makers is a better episode. So Adventure Time wins out this week. So since we've been keeping track, and I will lose track of this, I know I will, but since we've been keeping track, I think regular shows won 2 or 3 times, Adventure Time's won 1 time. So, and it's going to get to where they really get head and head, I believe, because it really kind of, it just depends on both episodes. There are some episodes of regular show that Adventure Time's probably not going to beat. And likewise, there are some episodes of Adventure Time that regular show is not going to beat. I mean, there's just some episodes of Adventure Time that are just fantastic TV to the masses. And that's just how it is. And they both have different strengths. I've went on this not a million times, but probably every episode I went on about this. Adventure Time, it's a different, even though they're both shows that seem similar and they have similar type of humor. They came along at the same time. They're different animals. They're completely different. Adventure Time early on strives more on storytelling and world building, listening to the fan community, where a regular show early on was about appealing to nostalgia and, slang terms and just more of like that slice of life surrealism that Aqua Teen had. Things that really, honestly, kind of some original stuff that it's like they were probably sitting around and saying, what would be funny if we made an episode about somebody doing a prank call and it going the wrong way. Just, stupid stuff like that. And then they really fleshed it out and turned it into something funny. So Adventure Time seems to have more of a real storytelling type, deeper message type of vibe going on early on. Well, even through the whole thing. Regular show catches up in the storytelling, but like the episodes, they don't seem as connected. They have a little bit more of a universe reset, even though it seems like there is there's obviously a continuity to the regular show because the relationships with Margaret and so on and so forth progress. I don't want to give any of that away, but those things progress on. So it is similar to maybe like King of the Hill in that way, where like these characters do grow. But whenever something happens in the park, it does kind of seem like The Simpsons, where things the universe kind of gets reset at the end of the episode and they restart fresh the next episode, which is cool. It has its own appeal. And it's not like that all the time. I mean, obviously, like they make callbacks. Like, yeah, you remember that time when such and such, destroyed the park, or they make callbacks and everything. So it's like, yeah, these things happen, but like they're not as big a deal as like, or not as lasting effects. A lot of the times, these catastrophic type events, as like things in Adventure Time, where when Finn, gets, I guess he maybe gets dumped by Princess Bubblegum or something, for example, that has lasting effects. Okay, things happen and like they leave their marks. So, two different type of animals there, but I can't remember this episode heat signature for next week, so I'm going to have to go back and watch that and watch the regular show episode on See You There. Right now, I am kind of giving the advantage to See You There, but I'll have to watch. Looks like this is a Marceline episode, so probably have some kind of pretty cool music in there at some point. So, all right, yeah, that's all I got though. I guess I don't know. Sorry about the whole G4 tirade. Probably shouldn't have brought that up again, but yeah, that's what's going through my head. All right. Well, appreciate you listening. And if you want, Discord's still open. I've been trying to put the link up on the shows. Let's see. Seems like I had a couple of suggestions for shows. The AI for Humans with Kevin Pereira, definitely. There was one more. I just can't remember what it is. My gosh. That's a shame. Oh well. I guess I'll have to remember that next time. So until next time, I appreciate you listening. Any reviews or follows or likes or shares. I didn't realize how much reviews help the show to grow. I don't get onto Apple iTunes or whatever, Apple Podcasts, I guess it's called. Apple iTunes. Whew, I'm old. I don't get onto Apple Podcasts, though. Like, I don't have an Apple device. It's just more convenient for me to operate things through Spotify. And they don't really have a review platform. They have polls and Q&A at the end. If you want to fill those in, feel free. If I see them, I will definitely take what you say into consideration. If you want to leave me a voice message on the Anchor FM platform, or you want to send me an email, I think the interns made it texmexandcandy@gmail.com. So TEXMEXAND and then candy, CANDY texmexandcandy@gmail.com. I will check those and respond to those. But yeah, any review you could leave that definitely helps the show grow. And I did not realize how much initially. And the show is growing very slowly, but I think I checked and I may even have 20 listens on that last show, which was, I think, I didn't do it. That troop that works for me did it. But, 20 listens on that. So that's cool. Maybe by the end of season 2, I can get up to like 50 or something. That would be cool. Appreciate y'all, though. Any shares, any of that jazz, it really helps. And look forward to hearing from you if you can reach me on the Discord or... Oh, I know what it was I was going to say. Sorry. The Dancing is Forbidden. There's a Discord for that. Ronnie Neely's podcast, the Aqua Teen podcast, Dancing is Forbidden podcast. I joined that. That's a community over there. If you don't want to join the Turtles Forever podcast, I do a horrible job at it, but that's actually my Discord, the Turtles Forever Discord. I hardly ever engage with it. I really set it up for Rob and everybody in the past, and I've just kind of let them run with it because the whole community there does a much better job at running it and keeping it going than I ever could. But yeah, I guess technically that is my Discord. Although if they ever wanted to take it over, I would happily just give it to them. But I'm there too. I like hanging out there. I still like and enjoy. I'm not a diehard TMNT fan. I do enjoy. I do enjoy doing the reviews and everything with Rob, and we've also been doing it with. So occasionally we'll have guests on. So Kevin and Sean from Ninja Turtle Nerds. And we had Tara, who probably is listening to this podcast. Hey, Tara, appreciate everything you've done for both podcasts. We had her on. She's an excellent. She can actually read the comics well. And this is a horrible joke, but like I do have 20/10 vision, but for whatever reason, like I have to squint to see the font on the Comixology app. She's just fantastic at reading all of that stuff through there and narrating it without having to break up her speech or anything. She's got a lot of cool stuff going on too. So she has last thing, she sent us a copy one time of, and I realize I'm going off on a little bit of a rant or a tangent here, sorry, but she sent us a copy one time of an anthology book she's in called Twisted Time. And she had a really cool, it's like a 3-page, like a mini comic, like a graphic story, I guess, a short story. Really cool. And it made me, at first I read it and I was like, okay, well that's cool. But then I got to looking at it and I'm like, wait, this is about an artist. This is like allegorical. And it really kind of, I thought, there's a whole world built in here that she's got cooked up and she's just not revealed it to anybody much yet, so I look forward to seeing whatever she does with that. But yeah, we got cool people over there too. A lot of you probably, if you're listening to this, you're on the Turtles Forever Discord. So shout out to you. But yeah, the Dancing is Forbidden. I'm over there too. If I don't say a whole lot. I really just kind of enjoy seeing the stuff that people come up with there. But yeah, I'm going to stop yapping now. And appreciate you all. And until next time, insert clever catchphrase here. See ya.